Welcome to ATR Powerslam, Above the Ring's new YouTube show, coming to you this weekend to provide you all of your wrestling results from the week of February 18th, 2023, with a 15-minute time limit, where your host, this will be Ian Scott. John the Statman is on assignment this week, so we're going to go right into it. Scott, why don't you tell us about the Raw before Elimination Chamber?
Oh, man. Both Raw and SmackDown doing really good here, doing their go-home shows going into the pay-per-view, or premium live event, sorry. So kicking things off on Raw, we had Becky Lynch and Bayley, of course, continuing their squabbling over who's going to go after Bianca, but they want to both get into Elimination Chamber. So Bianca comes out and says, "Fine, we'll up the ante a little bit. We'll have a triple threat match tonight for your main event. If either one of you win, you're in the Elimination Chamber. If I win, both of you are out. So it sucks to be both of you." After that, we jumped right into our first matchup of the night. It was the Judgment Days of Finn Balor and Damian Priest defeating the Street Profits. Really good match here. After that, we had the contract signing between Brock Lesnar and Bobby Lashley. Lashley continuing his mind games, having a table and chair brought to the stage, and a whole line of security, and of course, Brock not having any of this nonsense, destroying all the guards, running after Lashley, but Lashley doesn't get the last laugh, signs the contract, and we move forward towards Elimination Chamber for that match. After that, we had Piper Niven continuing her domination since she has returned, beating up Mia Yim. And then we had probably one of the best promos that I've ever watched, and I've watched wrestling for over 30 years at this point. There's Cody Rhodes, Sami Zayn in the ring talking about taking down Roman Reigns. Cody saying that Sami needs to finish his story. It was so amazing to watch. If you haven't had a chance to go find this clip, watch it. Believe me, it is amazing. Of course, after that, we have our good friend Baron Corbin running his mouth, talking about not some good stuff about Cody's dad, and of course Cody not having that. Attacks Corbin in the back. They go to the front, and Cody's still in his like $10,000 suit, and just beats the ever living crap out of out of Baron Corbin. So Corbin's downward spiral continues. We ended up with a Raw versus SmackDown women's match with all the participants in the Elimination Chamber. On the women's side, it was Asuka, Carmella, and Nikki Cross winning, and Asuka turning on everybody, even her teammates, just letting everybody know that she is back. And this is the Asuka that I've been waiting to see come back. After that, we had Bronson Reed destroying Mustafa Ali, which is it's just, it's sad to see. It's sad to see. And then we had Seth freaking Rollins brawling with the Miz and Austin Theory on Miz TV. Seth Rollins coming out with the ginormous red boots, which was hilarious to see. We then had Rick Boogs come out, who was supposed to have a match with the Miz, took care of Miz in mere seconds. And then Bianca Belair ended up defeating both Becky Lynch and Bayley in the main event. So neither were entered into the Elimination Chamber. Now, I do feel like at some point we're going to have more than 6 people in an Elimination Chamber match, and that's going to be absolutely insane. So we'll look forward to that. Switching gears, we jump over to NXT. We had Tyler Bate defeating Grayson Waller. Waller starting to go off the rails, attacking people in the back and just talking so much trash with Shawn Michaels. Like, this is very reminiscent of how Shawn Michaels was back in the day. So it's kind of like a parent seeing their child do exactly what they used to do to their parents. It's quite hilarious to watch. For the first time, I'm actually super invested in what's going on with Grayson Waller, and I hate that I just said that. After that, we had Tiffany Stratton defeating Thea Hale. Both of these girls are going to do something big with their careers, especially, I feel, Tiffany Stratton sooner rather than later. Axiom defeating Damon Kemp. And we had Wesley doing an open challenge for the North America Championship, which we thought was going to be answered by either Stacks or Tony D'Angelo. Then we thought it might have been Dijak coming back for his rematch, but it ended up being Von Wagner, which a lot of people were like, "Oh no, please don't have one, please don't have Von win." But Wesley was able to retain, and there's a little interesting thing going on with Von. Either Mr. Stone's trying to get him to break, his exterior walls, so we'll see what happens with that. After that, we had Charlie Dempsey take on and defeat Hank Walker, with Drew Gulak actually walking away from Hank and walking with Charlie. So this is an interesting development. And then finally, your main event was Roxanne Perez and Miko Satomura taking on and defeating Kaden Carter and Katata Chance. And after the match, Miko made her aspirations known. She wants the NXT Women's Championship. So now I will tag over to Sam, take care of AEW and Impact Wrestling.
So to kick things off in the night, they had a quick, little montage going there for the now late senior Double J. And to kick it off, we had the 8-man tag, including Jeff Jarrett, with Cassidy the Acclaimed and Billy Gunn defeating Jarrett, Lethal, Singh, and Dutt. Following that, we have the Texas Tornado tag match with Moxie and Casanoli defeating Vance and Roosh. Up next, we had Mark Briscoe's next match on AEW Dynamite, taking on and defeating Josh Woods. Of course, next we had the obligated MJF. MJF obligated to show up in Laredo, coming and speaking against nice promo cut with Christopher Daniels. Daniels coming in here. Originally was going to pay him off to take on Bryan Danielson, take him out. Daniels defended him, and then MJF took him out. Danielson came out. Wrestling God. Say it again. Following that, we had Jungle Boy Jack Perry defeat Brian Cage. We then had Hangman Adam Page take on and defeat Kip Sabian. And then last but not least, the main event, we had Ruby Soho defeat Dr. Baker, DMD, and Tony Storm. Going into Thursday. Where'd the results go? I had it right in front of me. I had the same problem last week. Kicked the night off with Deonna Purrazzo defeating Steph DeLander. Kushida and Motor City Machine Guns took on, defeated Chris Bay and Ace Austin. Now, with all these on the side, Kushida taking on, defeating Chris Bay. Steve Macklin defeated Rhino. Barry Horowitz defeated Johnny Swinger. What year is this?
What?
Yes. Heath taking on, defeating Eddie Edwards. Masha Slamovich taking on, defeating Alicia. And then the main event, Rich Swann defeating Kenny King. It's good to see Rich Swann still at the top of the Impact card.
Yeah.
Deserves it. Following that, we had a rematch for the AEW Trios titles. The Elite defeating Top Flight and AR Fox. Ricky Starks getting the win over Daniel Garcia. Jade Cargill, once again, is undefeated, taking on and defeating Vert Vixen. I hope I pronounced that right. And then the main event, by DQ, Dustin Rhodes took on, defeated Swerve Strickland. So I'm going to tap back over to close the night, the go home SmackDown for Elimination Chamber. Scott.
Yes. So for this, you kick off with a tag match. Ronda Rousey, Shayna Baszler taking on and defeating Natalya and Shotzi. So Ronda and Shayna clearly looking to get themselves back in the women's tag division. We had Hit Row come out, start doing some rapping. This lovely Montreal crowd letting them know what's going on. They were interrupted by Bray Wyatt and Uncle Howdy. Bray came out, destroyed Hit Row, and then challenged the winner of Brock Lesnar and Bobby Lashley. We don't know when. We're assuming, obviously, it's going to be WrestleMania. So, yeah, that should be very interesting. Then after that, we had probably one of the best tag team matches I've seen in quite some time. Drew McIntyre and Sheamus taking on and defeating the Viking Raiders. This match literally went on for like 30 minutes. It was fantastic. I loved seeing all four showcasing themselves. It was great. I loved it. After that, Asuka defeating Liv Morgan in a very good matchup. I love what they've done with Liv post championship run. She's done such a really good job keeping herself relevant and just being psycho, and it's just amazing. And obviously with Asuka, it's just yeah. Then after that, we had Gunther defending his Intercontinental Championship against Madcap Moss and getting the win. And then after that, it was just Sami Zayn returning to Montreal. This crowd just had a nonstop ovation for him. I believe they timed it at over 5 minutes and like 20 something seconds, which I guess is a record for that arena. And that arena has been around forever. So that's outstanding. And Sammy had all this stuff he wanted to say, but he didn't get to say much because the crowd was just showering him with love, and he's completely fine with that. So this was the best way to jump into Elimination Chamber, and we'll have more on that later on. So Sam, go ahead, wrap this baby up.
Hey guys, don't forget, in 2 weeks, starting in the beginning of March, Ring of Honor is back. We got our weekly show. We will be adding that to the mix, make things a lot tighter. It's still 15 minutes. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to check out our regular Above the Ring podcast on all your streaming platforms. Thank you guys for watching.